Welcome back to A Moment in History. I'm Seth Udinsky. In the late Middle Ages, there lived an emperor from Africa who many in history consider to be the wealthiest man to ever live. Now, with all due respect to men like King Solomon or John D. Rockefeller or even Elon Musk, the man known as the Golden King ruled an empire that stretched over 2,000 miles and owned an amount of wealth that some historians say is just too unfathomable to even count. He was the sovereign ruler of the African Mali Empire, a devout Muslim by the name of Mansa Musa. This medieval ruler was born in 1280 in the Mali Empire. Now, he ascended to the imperial throne in 1312 thanks in part to a political opening in the throne. Musa was not in the paternal line for the throne, but he served in the court of the ruling king Abu Bakr II, who allegedly took a massive entourage with him to the Atlantic Ocean to explore what lay west. Well, they were never heard from again, with some historians believing they could have made it to South America and maybe established themselves there, but many historians just believe they were lost at sea. Either way, Musa took over and he quickly began to consolidate his power. During this consolidation, two things expanded. The first was the size of the empire, which would come close to rival the size of Rome at its height, and the second was the size of his wealth. It is estimated by today's standards that Mansa Musa accumulated roughly $400 billion worth of riches in his kingdom. Now, in the 21st century, we have to consider the fact that the top rich men of our day, men such as Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos, they hang right around $200 billion in total net assets. Mansa Musa's wealth would have made these men look like street urchins. The source of his wealth mainly was in his massive collection of gold. Historians believe that in the 14th century, Musa managed to grab roughly half of the existing gold in the entire known world. His gold was so large, he literally started a financial crisis. This is not a joke. The story goes like this. In 1324, the Muslim Musa made a pilgrimage to Mecca. On his journey, he stopped in Egypt, and here he gave extravagant gifts of gold to the Egyptian people. Now, while the gifts were no doubt well received, and the Egyptians probably loved it at the time, the effects of inflation quickly took over. The massive and quick influx of gold into Egypt's economy devalued the gold that was already there, sending the country actually into a decade-long financial tailspin, all from one man's massive wealth. Now, Musa was able to capitalize on world events as well in such a way that he became enormously wealthy. You have to understand, Europe was in decline at this time, with the recent loss in the Crusades and the rise of the Black Death and conflict in the Catholic Church, all leading to a weakened financial situation for the continent as well. Musa's extravagant reign, meanwhile, lasted 25 years, and historians are unsure of the exact date that he died, but many believe he died in the year 1337, around the age of 57. Thanks so much for joining me once again for A Moment in History.